I hate gift giving and receiving.
Receiving gifts is so weird. What do you say? Thank you?
This is Coffee Convos with Kail Lowry and Lindsie Chrisley.
I really want you to be in your feels, Kail.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I feel very attacked by you.
A spirited discussion about motherhood, friendship, family, and life in the public eye.
I'm just not with the fakery anymore.
There's a fakery bakery around here.
Here's Kail and Lindsie.
We're recording. We're on the air.
Wait, what?
Coffee Combos is on the air.
Good morning, Coffee Convos podcast. I did not get the countdown warning this morning, so I don't know if Kail was trying to catch me off guard or what was happening. But good morning. I didn't expect to start that quickly.
I thought that we could have a very, sometimes we just shoot the shit. And so I was like, let's do a chaotic morning for Coffee Combos. But you look great. Your hair looks great. You look great. You look fantastic.
Let me tell you, I have not felt the vibes in some time. And I woke up this morning and I have just not wanted to get ready at all. You know, when you're feeling down and you just want to take a shower, not put yourself together, put on some fresh clothes or pajamas and then do nothing else.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been my life for pretty much the past couple of months. And so when I realized, oh yeah, I committed that I was going to be on camera this morning, I was like, wow, I love that for me. And I actually hate everything about this. You know, it's one of those mornings where you're storming around in your bathroom because you hate everything that you're doing.
Oh, I've had those types of mornings a lot. Part of it is because my closet is still in boxes. So if I send you a picture of the current state of my closet, it just makes me want to throw a fit in the morning because I know I have clothes, I just can't find them. So then the clothes that I do have out, I hate everything. And then if I hate everything, then my outfit, my hair, my makeup all looks like shit. So I completely understand. I
am a firm believer that if you feel like your outfit looks like shit, you just automatically look like shit because you're not feeling the vibes. And so everything just goes downhill from there. Speaking of closets, one, did you ever get your closet built out?
So it didn't happen yet, but I went with Closets by Design and they should be here any day. Probably 2 weeks. They called me yesterday, because I have a safe in my closet and it's a tall one and it's probably 2 feet wide. And so she called me and she was like, hey, I need you to send me the model number so they can make sure that they build that part of the closet to fit the safe. So I think they're just finalizing details and then it'll be done.
When I tell you, I did not expect for my budget to have to accommodate what it did for my closet build outs. That's something that I way underestimated. And it definitely needed to be done because my closet, I think I've talked about this before, but I swear somebody who was 6'7" built my closet because the way that they installed the shelves, there's no way that I would have been able to get to the top part. And so I was only able for the first 6-8 months that I lived here, I was only able to use that bottom shelf. And so I would fold stuff and put it on the top of the shelf and then obviously hanging stuff, but there was minimal hanging space. And there is nothing worse than having your stuff disorganized and not knowing where to find something. I would be searching for socks. We all know I don't wear underwear. So that wasn't something that I was searching for. But it was just mass chaos. And when I tell you, my most favorite investment in this house has been Jackson's closet because he does not get his own stuff out in the morning. I've talked about how he is all into jerseys now. So I know that he wants to wear jerseys every day. But as far as caring about his underwear, his pants, anything like that, I do all of that. And so it's been so helpful for me in the mornings to just know exactly where to go to find something.
I'm just so pissed off too because my old closet at my old house was done. I had the Neat Method come do it. I remember last year for Christmas when we went to Atlanta and I took a picture in my gray Timberland boots. I have not been able to find those Timberland boots since that trip. So I'm and I got so many compliments on those. So
I can promise you I didn't steal them. That's not my
No, I
style.
know
So
you.
like I didn't steal it.
No, I don't think you stole them. I don't think anyone stole them. I think I either left them at the Airbnb or just they're somewhere in the closet. But I will post a picture of the closet, a little video, only because I know that it's going to get done. And so I won't live like that forever. But it is such a shit show. And I hope that when they come do the closets in a couple, probably like a week or two, I hope I find those boots because they're not sold anymore. Like you can't get them at the store. So it's not like I could just like buy a new pair.
It's so funny that we're even talking about this because I had screenshot this list of 50 things to throw away for instant decluttering. And I plan to print this today to like start going through this list. I'm just going to work from the top. But see, it's just like a list of 50 things. And it's anywhere from like old magazines, old books, broken makeup, old perfume, half empty bottles, towels with holes. Like it's things that you think that you need to get rid of, but you wouldn't think to put together on a list.
Wait, we need to talk about the half empty bottles thing because I'm so weird about the things that I spend my money on. Kristen wants to kill me because I will go buy like some random shit that I may or may not even use, but I will not throw away half empty products. I will use them until the very last drop, even if I hate the product. So I spent money on it. I'm going to use it. But I will then go spend $500 at Target on shit that I don't know if I'm going to use. It's very weird what I am willing to throw out and waste versus like using every last drop. You know what I mean?
Get bamboozled by Target, like way worse than me. And I truly think that if anybody hears this, they would think the exact opposite, that I would be like the type of person that goes into Target, leaves with like a full cart with a bunch of stuff. But I truly am such a minimalist and I've become more minimalistic. Is that the right word? Minimalistic.
Yeah.
Since I have become older. I used to hoard stuff like that. I got like these little tiny, do you remember those Lancome juicy tubes? Like how popular they were?
Yeah.
I had like little bitty tiny ones that were in like a stocking stuffer pack from when I was probably in high school. And I swear to you, I didn't get rid of the last one until I moved into this house.
Wait, because you like couldn't let it go or because you just needed to use it or why?
I don't know. It's just like, it was like a cool thing to have. And I don't know why I thought it was like cool to still have it. And you only use like a little bit. So if you got like 10 juicy tubes, like 10 little tiny ones, they're going to last you for a long time because I am more, okay. So are you more of like a gloss, lipstick style wearer or are you more of like a chapstick?
I do love a good like chapstick or lip balm.
Yeah.
But I've been a big fan of lip oils lately.
Okay, so I've been a big fan of oils lately, period, like all over my body. I talked about it on the Southern Tea, like 100% pure argan oil all over my body. I have now gone out and found argan oil shampoo and conditioner, a hair mask. Like I'm big into it. And I think the older that I get, the more dry my skin gets. And so big into that. So I need to try the lip oils because I haven't tried lip oil, but what's on my lips right now is just that Tarte, what's that lipstick that it's like a gloss, like pump.
Oh, I just put it on too. Mara, what is it? I'm looking it up. Hold on. Mara, I want to pronounce it right. Hold on. I wonder, you must have the same one as me.
Marcula Juicy Tube or something like that, I think is what it's called. I don't know if that's what.
Yeah. It's like Mara something.
Anyway, those things are amazing. I can post a picture of it, but those things are amazing. And I have those literally everywhere, all over my house also. So I feel like those are going to become like the next juicy tubes for me. But I have become really good about like decluttering everything, even all the way down to my refrigerator. Are you the type of person that throws away stuff once the expiration hits, like you throw it out, or you leave it in?
In the fridge? No, I now throw everything away regularly. My pantry can't always say the same. However, I do want to touch on grocery prices right now they have skyrocketed for me, and I do use Instacart regularly. But that being said, Elijah and I started a calendar that's on the fridge, and we are writing down every single meal of the week. And that has actually really, really helped us go through the pantry items. So this past week when the kids were all at their dad's, like we got rid of everything that was expired, and then there was stuff that we could use. And then now I'm only purchasing what we need versus like stocking up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And same with like snacks for this kid's school. Like I'm not buying snacks for all day grazing at home. We are buying snacks for school and that's it.
So it's funny that you say that, because when I had my pantry organized and someone came and helped me, because I get so overwhelmed with that stuff, and people would think that's why Kristen says I am a closet type B, but I like type A things. I'm not good at doing it, but like I know what I like and I know what I need to be able to be a functioning human. But I have baskets in my pantry. So my pantry is actually split in a hallway. So like one side and then one side. So it's two pantries.
Interesting.
On one of the sides, it's all of like Jackson stuff. And then on the other side, it's all of like what I would be making meals with, or like my supplements, like all of that. So it's really easy to keep it organized. But I have specific snacks that are like school snacks and then snacks that are home snacks. And I am a big believer, like you should make your kids, when they go to the grocery store and they ask you for something, you say like, you can pick one or two home snacks, and they have to go through all of those snacks before you repurchase, because we got in a habit of going to like Sam's and Costco and buying stuff that came in those like individual packs. And then they would just go to waste because then they would get old.
And he wasn't finishing them?
No. And then he wanted, by the time, because we bought it in such high quantity that by the time it like started getting towards the end, he didn't want it anymore. He was on to like a new snack. He was tired of it.
That makes sense. That makes so much sense.
So now what I do, like, and Will does this too, is like if he wants a cereal, he picks like a cereal for the week, like one cereal.
Okay. Yeah. And then he has to finish that before he can get a different cereal.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. Speaking of food, I went to grab dinner last night. And I was looking on the menu and I was like, I want wings. And as I'm like scrolling through the menu, I see where it's like drums and then it says flappers.
I saw the picture you sent and I was like, what the fuck is like, I know what they mean, like flappers, like wings, but who calls them that? That's not a thing.
No. So I have heard other people call them that before. And so then it made me get self-conscious. Have I been calling them flats like this whole time? And it's really like flaps.
Flaps.
But I'm pretty sure it's flats, like a flat wing. And everywhere else that I have been, like the place that I regularly go, they call them drums and flats.
Wait, okay. So, but drums, what part of that? What part of the chicken is that?
I don't know. Looks like it's kneecap.
No,
doesn't it?
I don't think it's a kneecap. I think
it looks like a rusty kneecap.
Is it like a thigh? Because like I'm trying to think of like the flats are like the actual wing.
I'm telling you, it looks like a kneecap. Hold on. What part of the chicken is a drum?
Is the drumstick?
We're about to find out. The upper arm of the chicken wing. The drumlet is called the drum because it looks like a smaller version of a drumstick, which is part of the leg.
Oh, okay.
You can't tell me that a drum does not look like a crusty kneecap. Like it's just weird. Before we move on, I need to tell you, we got an email from the school and it's like the clinic drive or whatever. I don't know if y'all do it, but it's where you send in products for like the clinic.
The clinic? What does that mean?
Like the school nurse, like the clinic.
First, I've never heard it referred to as a clinic, number one. Number two.
What do you call it?
The nurse. The school nurse.
Yeah, it's a clinic. It's the clinic.
Wait, so what? Time out. What kinds of things do you send into them? Okay, that's like the one thing that my kids' schools have never requested something for. Okay,
so the reason that I give to this actual drive every year is because I know how much my son goes to the clinic. So I'm like, he's probably blazing through all of their products. But it's like mini water bottles, like mini Gatorades, mini whatever, like Sprites, ginger ales, individual packs of pretzels, which is what I signed up to take. But then it got to the bottom part and I was like, oh my God, I have to ask Kail about this because I always got afraid to like shit or piss my pants at school because I was afraid that I would have to go to the clinic and use like used underwear. Cause like back
Why
in the
wouldn't
day,
they just send you home?
No, they don't just send you home. Like if you shit or piss on yourself, then you just go to the clinic and you get clean clothes. Or like if you fall in mud or get something on your clothes and like it's too wet or something, you go to the clinic and get other clothes. Like, what are you talking about? Like you never did this?
No, I've never pissed myself in school ever or shit myself
like
in
kids
school
that
ever.
barfed on themselves, like they had to go and get like fresh clothes. They had to go get freshies. So I remember back when I was in school, they would do where you sent in all of your old stuff. So it basically was like Goodwill, but like at the clinic. So you sent in like your old panties and your old underwear and stuff. And then
Ew.
they would change them out. Like, I'm pretty sure they were all like old stuff. I remember that growing up. And now in today's time, I'm like, these kids are getting fresh draws up at this school. When we were growing up, we didn't get fresh draws. Like we just got whatever was at the clinic. And
fresh draws.
It was like pack of underwear, not opened and pack of panties, like not open. And that was just like not a thing whenever we were growing up. But Will was like, why are you giving to the clinic drive? Like, why are you taking pretzels up to the school? And I'm like, because my kid's probably the one eating them.
You're like, we need to contribute where my kid is eating snacks.
Exactly. Yes. Oh my God.
I've never heard of this. I'm going to post on my Facebook because I'm one of Lux's little friends at sports. His mom is a school nurse.
Oh,
and
really?
I don't remember them ever asking, like they do drives regularly at the schools, like for food pantries and just donations. Like I think we've done like donations to the troops and things like that in the past. But I don't think that we've ever done something for the nurses. I wonder, I'm going to get back to you on that. By the next time we record, I'll have some answers for you.
Perfect. Yeah. Let me know.
Coffee Combos podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Hey, Coffee Combos listeners, whether you love true crime or comedies, celebrity interviews, news, or even motivational speakers, you call the shots on what's on your podcast queue, right? And guess what? Now you can call the shots on your auto insurance too. Enter the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. The Name Your Price tool puts you in charge of your auto insurance by working just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, then they'll show you a variety of coverages that fit within your budget, giving you options.
Now that's something that you'll want to press play on. It's easy to start a quote and you'll be able to choose the best option for you fast. It's just one of the many ways that you can save with Progressive Insurance. Quote today at progressive.com to try the Name Your Price tool for yourself and join the over 29 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Outside of that, when I was getting ready this morning, I left my earrings somewhere and don't have them in my ear. And I have always felt like a naked person if I don't have on earrings.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep,
Can you
I'm
tell
the
me
same
how
way.
you say NAKED?
Naked.
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 Like your naked ass. Like get your naked ass over here. You know? Like
Wait, so I have to tell you, last night, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays right now are really crazy for us because of basketball practice. We have basketball practice 3 nights a week, and Lincoln's playing in 2 leagues. So the one league that he's in was last night, and Lux was like, I want to go because he gets to like warm up with Lincoln, and so that's fun for him.
Cute.
And I don't know, there's something about like watching your kids play together, like a sport together. It's a different kind of like brotherhood. Like they're real brothers, but then like being in a sport with someone, you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we get home, we do bath time, we do all of that, and then Lex was like, Mom, because Creed still sleeps in a crib. Lux was like, I really want to sleep in the crib with Creed. And so I rock Creed to sleep every single night, and that's just our routine. I never changed since we went through the sleep consultant. Creed did not want Lux to sleep with him. He was like, get out my crib. He's crying. He's like, get out my crib. So I was like, once he falls asleep, you can go sleep with him, like once he's already asleep. And so Lux waited awake in his bed. And when I went to go check on him, because normally I lay with him to go to sleep, he was like, can I go? He like sat straight up and he's like, can I go sleep in his crib? And I was like, sure. He brings his little pillow in there and he lays down. I have a picture of it. I'll post it, but it was so cute. So this morning when they woke up, I said, because it was a tight squeeze. I said, did he wake up at all? And he said, no, he didn't wake up at all in the night. And then when I asked Creed, I said, where did Lux sleep last night? And he said, in my crib. And they were so happy that they slept in this crib together.
So
it was the cutest fucking thing. I'll post a picture when this episode airs. It was just so fucking cute.
That is so sweet. See, I don't have any of that kind of stuff going on. That I do kind of feel FOMO whenever I hear things about siblings like that. And I'm like, man, I wish Jackson had that experience. But him sleeping in a crib at 10 is like, that's just like not a realistic thought process. So
yeah, no, definitely not.
I can love it for your kids.
Yeah.
Talking about the closets and stuff, after I finish recording, I have a meeting for the Southern Tea because there's changes that are about to happen over there. I'll text you about them. But okay. I am so excited. I was looking at the back of your wall where it has like your decal or whatever on it. And I'm like, I'm just in my kitchen. But I am finally putting together this week my desk so that I will be podcasting from, because my desk, I had it built into my closet because my closet is so big. So okay. I had it built in. So I'll be in there hopefully in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Don't you love when like something new is happening and it's just like the littlest things will just be great.
Well, and I love the whole process of like something coming together. So
yeah,
my friend who is helping me, she helped me put my guest bedroom together, which I'll have to take pictures of and show you guys because I absolutely love it. You saw what I did to my guest bedroom. I sent you the designs.
Loved.
So I'm going to take a picture and I'll post that for Coffee Convos when this airs. But also she's helping me put together my office and she's coming over today and we're doing like sushi and champagne and putting it together. And I'm so excited about it. But when I walked in my bathroom today, it was an absolute mess. Like I wish if I had one thing that I could get someone to do for me every single day, it would be clean up after me. Because
everywhere I go.
Well, I am messy, but I am clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will have stuff like everywhere and then I get so overwhelmed that like I just don't care. So then I just don't do anything. But I had to go back into my bathroom to unplug all of my stuff that I had plugged up. And I wonder how many people also have the anxiety of knowing that you have unplugged something and you've gone back and checked it like 5 times because you keep tricking your mind. You're like, I didn't unplug it and it's going to like burn my house on fire. So then you go back and like check it again. I will do that 5 times and will still have anxiety when I leave my house thinking that I have left something plugged up.
So funny that you bring that up because I had a TikTok the other day. I did like a Sunday reset in my bathroom because my bathroom was so messy. And my curling iron was plugged in. And someone commented that and was like, don't you have anxiety about that? And you know what's funny is right after that video, I realized that the very next day I not only left it plugged in, I left the curling iron turned on. And some of my hot tools have automatic shut off after so long. Like, I don't know if you have the Bombay wand, but that one shuts off automatically after some time. But this specific one that I had in my bathroom did not have an automatic shut off and it was still plugged in. It was still on and it fucking scared the piss out of me. So now I no longer just leave it plugged in. I'm ripping that shit out of the wall because I'm terrified. I worked too fucking hard for my house to set on fire from some careless fucking mistake that I made. So, I will be
Let me tell
unplugging
you,
everything.
Kail, I have the worst anxiety about it. Like it is not normal. I need to be seen about it because it truly is like affecting my life. And I don't know, like when I turned this way, I can't remember like exactly when this started happening, but I know within probably the last like couple of months, I've become way more cautious of it. And it's not like I burnt my house down or anything, but I am so terrified. So I don't even turn it off. Like I just unplug it from the wall, and then I go back in there and I will check like 5-6 times before I leave the house. And then I'll still think about it when I'm somewhere.
I have that about carbon monoxide.
Well, yeah.
I
Remember that
don't
story that those people, like that whole family, like passed away from it that we talked
know.
about in Mexico?
Oh, right. Well, and also one of my girlfriends from football, her family was in her family's like the family was together in an apartment and it happened to them and they all had to go to the hospital and stuff like that. I think I briefly mentioned it on here. But I have like this like how you are, what you're describing your anxiety with like hot tools plugged in is how I feel about carbon monoxide. And I'm always like, are these smoke detectors also carbon monoxide detectors? Because that's terrifying. And I have kids, small children, they're closer to the ground. Like, it's terrifying. And I don't know why I have this like overwhelming anxiety that is like, I'll get, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, where's my birth certificate? I get that all the time.
No. What?
What?
What? You wake up in the middle of the night and start thinking of your birth certificate.
Yes. Sometimes I'm like, wait, where did I put my social security card? Is my passport expired? Are all of the kids' passports in the safe?
Wait.
Like, where's the safe? Like, now I'm thinking about where is the safe? Like right now, where is it? Because I have a smaller one and then I have a bigger one. I need to look for that when I get off this podcast because I'm thinking like, where is it? But yeah, you don't ever do that. Like in the middle of the night, you sit straight up.
No, Kail. No. That is literally not what I think of when I sit straight up. I think of like somebody's in my house, they're going to murder me. I think Brian Koberger's here. Like those are the types of thoughts that I have. But definitely not, where is my birth certificate? Like, no.
Really? Because last night I sat straight up and I was like, is my passport expired? Because I'm going to Thailand and I'm like, is it expired? Because if it is, I don't know if I have time to renew it. But I didn't check it yet, but I think it actually expires next year, but I got to find the safe because it's in there.
First of all, I need to say something about the safe because I thought that was only a thing that grandparents did. Like, I don't have that.
You don't? I put mine in a fireproof safe with a key.
In case your house catches on fire?
Yes.
What do you mean?
My divorce decree is in there.
Oh, because that cannot burn.
That cannot burn. Yeah, that cannot get caught on fire. My divorce decree is in there. My birth certificate, all the kids' birth certificates, all of our social security cards, and all of our passports are in the fireproof lockbox.
Okay. I got to go get a fireproof lockbox because now I'm thinking if I leave my curling iron plugged up, my house catches on fire, all of my documents are gone. Like,
yeah. And like, it's just, they're replaceable. You can always get new ones, but I don't know about you, but if you ever wait at a fucking social security office, I would rather yeet myself out a window because that shit, you'll be there for hours. Like the birth certificate's way easier to get because you can order it online or go down to Office of Vital Statistics. But also if you are not in the state, it's a pain in the ass because Isaac and I were both born in Pennsylvania. The rest of my kids were born in Delaware. So Delaware ones are fine. I can just go downtown. But the Social Security office, fucking forget about it. I will not wait there for 6, 7, 8 hours. I won't do it.
Oh my God. Speaking of, isn't that so funny that you say that? Hold on. I'm going to cover this up. But like, who told me this should be sitting on my counter?
Why is that on your counter?
I don't know. I'm like, it's that. Oh, my Sam's business card. Starbucks card.
Guess what? Speaking of cards.
My titties.
Not your titties. So I've told you guys on this podcast before that I never really had credit cards, right? So I got my first credit card. I guess it was last year at this point.
So proud of you for that.
Yes. And it was just like, it was one that I really wanted because it has good travel rewards. And Kristen got approved for it first. And I was really sad because I didn't get approved for it, which is weird because like I got a mortgage and car payments and shit. Well, I applied for an Amex, which was the other card that I really wanted. I don't want any other credit cards. Knock on wood. I don't need them for any reason, but I got approved for an Amex card. And then I casually told Kristen and she goes, oh, so we did apply for it. We applied for that. And I was like, yes. And so I did just get approved for that. And I'm very excited. Although I don't think everywhere accepts Amex.
No, everywhere doesn't accept Amex, but I've never really had any problems. Although Kristen regularly cusses me out because I stroll around with my debit card using it everywhere. And she's like, bitch, like, why do you not use your credit card? but I have like a weird thing with it. It makes me freak out. I know I have the money to pay it at the end of the month, but it's like, if I go and use my debit card, the money's like right there. So it just like takes it right away. I don't worry about it. That is something that I will sit up in the middle of the night and be like, how much money have I spent on my credit card? And yes, I know I have the money, but like I need to get it paid like right this second. Like I am so weird about like borrowing, like feeling like I'm borrowing from somebody. Like so weird about it.
I really wanted to get a credit card for the travel rewards, and the Chase card was that for me. And I think I said this before, but friends of mine they do, instead of using a debit card, which they have a debit card, they pay for every single thing on their credit card all year long, everything. And then they pay it every month. And then they do their anniversary trip with all of their points, and they don't have to pay a single dime for their Mexico trip. Everything.
See, I think that's so smart.
And that's why I wanted the credit card. So I'm not trying to be tone deaf when I'm talking about credit cards and Amex and things like that. I'm not trying to not read the room. I'm just saying, for anyone who wants a credit card, doesn't have one, doesn't really know how to use it, I think that if you look into the rewards of specific credit cards and find out like if you want, like, what is your goal? Like mine was for travel rewards, so that's why I got the travel rewards credit card. Same for you.
Some
like you
has
might like the
grocery
cash back.
perks. Some has like grocery perks, cash back. Like there's so many different things. But speaking of the tone deaf thing, I don't think that's tone deaf. I think that's smart spending, honestly, because you're gaining something by spending. And if you're only putting on there, I'm not saying to like overspend what you would regularly be spending, but if you're just putting on there what you would have to be paying anyway, it makes sense. That's just the conversation I had with Kristen literally like Friday.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. It's like, don't apply for credit cards for, just to overspend. It's more so to get the rewards. If you're going to use a debit card, why not use a credit card? So if you can help it, Lindsie, I would definitely suggest, because I have a lot of points for travel. And so it's been really great. She said that she's going to try to learn the Amex system. I don't know if, because you have an Amex, right? I feel like you told me you had an Amex.
Yeah.
I don't know if all of the different cards have the same reward system or anything, but she said she's going to try to learn the rewards so we can figure out like what is best for me, what purchases are best for me to put on that specific card. But okay, wait, I need to tell you something really quick. Because I feel like you eat better than I do.
Sometimes, probably.
Well, I feel like you've been maybe not eat better than me, but you've been exposed to more foods. Mm-hmm. So Elijah made steaks the other night. Like I said, we do this calendar now, so we avoid like overspending on groceries and things expiring and shit, right? So we were going to make beef, and he made steaks, and he hands me the A1 steak sauce, and I don't think anything of it. And I put a little bit on my plate, and I dip the steak in it. And I think steak is good by itself. I don't necessarily need sauce or anything. I hate A1 steak sauce. The original is terrible. It tastes like it's tangy, it's overpowering, and I hate it. Why are people eating this?
That is so offensive for you to say that. Okay, so 2 points on the steak. I've always heard that it is super rude to go to like a nice steakhouse and ask for sauce. Oh. Like if the steak is prepared properly, you don't need sauce. I was raised that way. Like, that makes sense. Not to ask for sauce because it is offensive to the chef. Outside of that, I have always had A1 on steak and Heinz 57 on steak at home, and grew up on A1, absolutely love A1 steak sauce. And the whole reason that I love it is for the tanginess of the sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
I hated it. I was like, I don't love this. And I feel like I've had, and I'm weird about Outback because like I do like their steak, but it feels like, is it frozen? Like, I don't know if it's like a frozen situation.
Probably.
But they like, if you order to go or when you're at the restaurant, they ask like, do you want like a buttered garlic sauce? Do you want this kind of sauce, that kind of sauce? And those types of sauces are good and I like them and they don't bother me. But the A1 sauce I felt like was so disgusting. So I needed to share that with you. I need to know if there is anyone in this podcast that listens to this podcast that feels the same way as I do, because I hated it.
Wait, have you ever tried Heinz 57?
No, I've never tried that.
Okay, you need to try Heinz 57 and tell me if you like it on steak better than A1 next time.
Let me look at the bottle. I thought Heinz 57 was ketchup.
I don't think that's what it is.
Or maybe that's just Heinz. Heinz, I'm Googling Heinz 57. I know people hate when we Google, but like this just came up. I don't know what you want me to do about it. No, I've never even seen this bottle in my life.
Yeah, Heinz 57. It says it's a blend, it's a secret blend of premium herbs and spices that has made Heinz 57 sauce an American favorite for over 90 years with a unique, rich flavor unequaled by any other steak sauce. No wonder Heinz 57 is served as in America's greatest steakhouses.
So interesting.
So
Yeah,
you
I've
need to
never even
try
seen that
Heinz
bottle.
50, but it also says on the bottle like zest or something like that. So I wonder if you're going to
Mhm.
have the same thoughts as you do with the A1. Just try it and let
Yeah.
us know.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of being able to read rooms, just wanted to address something really, really quick. Was debating whether I was going to address this or not, and decided that I was going to. There was a clickbait article that was circulating that came to my attention that involved a disturbing image of one of my family members during what was and is already a difficult time. It was a picture of a hospital bed with my mom on it. While I have been in this industry for what feels like a very long time and understand that these things are common, making fun of a very serious situation to me is both sickening and disgusting. And this is just a little public service announcement for really everybody, not just one person in particular. Being mindful of what you're posting. That even includes the public responsibility that you hold if you are a public figure and have someone posting for you. I have seen this happen to other people before. I have seen clickbaity things about you, clickbaity things about my family, clickbaity things about other people, miscarriages, pregnancies. I just think that if you're having other people post for you on your social media, you should be mindful of what they're posting, because you do hold a responsibility. If someone else is posting for you, you're equally responsible because your name is behind that. So that's all I really want to say on that. Outside of that, did want to answer this question from the Facebook group because we got it last week, and I have a really hard time with this at home because I just have one. And so it's easier for me to do pretty much everything. And I know that it's doing a disservice to my child. And like, I am very well aware of that.
Right.
But the question was, what chores do your 7-year-olds and 4-year-olds do? And do you have a reward system? Thanks, or any ideas? And I know you're big on like charts and stuff at your house. I don't know if you still do like chore charts or whatever. I'm really, really bad at this. Like, I'm not a person to be giving advice on freaking chores.
So for me now, we do have the chore chart on the fridge. So that's something that we still do. I have not been rewarding my kids for chores. And I've gone back and forth with this, and we've tried different things. But ultimately, I have just come to the realization that one, if I wasn't being consistent in like the rewards, because sometimes, they would do their chores and they would forget to, get their reward. I'd forget to offer it, or they would forget to do their chores. And it just was too much. So now they just know to come home and check the chore list. I don't do rewards for chores. I'm not doing rewards. These are things that they need to do regardless. And, contributing to the household. I don't overdo it. If they want to do something that goes above and beyond, that's a different conversation. And that would be probably they're going to do this because they want something, they want to work for something, they want to earn something. But regular everyday chores, like I told Isaac yesterday, because he was absent from the stomach bug, I think like last week or 2 weeks ago. And some of his assignments were late because he was absent. So he was able to make them up. And I told him, and I said, these are things that I said, what would you do if this was a job? Like, what would you do if this was your working job? And he's like, but it's not. And I said, here's the thing about chores, getting good grades, personal hygiene, all of those things are things that are going to follow you out throughout your life. What you do now is how you're going to do things as an adult. And I said, so for that reason, That's why I get on to you guys about the chores, about the good grades, about everything, because if this was real life, you have to take care of yourself and know how to do these things. I'm not doing a reward system. I think little kids like Lux's age, he wanted me to show him how to vacuum his room yesterday. And so we got the not the handheld, like the cordless Shark a couple weeks ago. And it's light enough for him to use that he wanted me to show him. Cool. I'm happy to show you. Next time you can do it yourself. And I'm not rewarding you for that because, unless you want, like, I think Lux's age, maybe 7-year-olds, because I forget Lincoln. I don't remember how Lincoln was with chores at 7. They like little shit like stickers, adding a star to their little chart. But outside of that, I'm not doing rewards. No.
So I agree with you on if your child's doing a chore that is contributing to the household, that would not be like an above and beyond thing. And I'm talking about like, hey, you take a water bottle to your room every night for bed. If you have water bottles in your room, you should be bringing them to the trash can. I shouldn't be rewarding you for bringing something to the trash can that to just bring to the trash can.
Exactly.
Putting your clothes in a hamper so that I don't have to pick up your dusty drawers. Like, thank you very much. That's just like a normal thing that you should be doing. Jackson is not good he's gotten much better about, like, I have this rule because he used to go in and like destroy everything. So he would pull something out and then he would play with that for a little while. Then it would be in one corner and then he got bored of that. So then he would go to something else. Like, that doesn't work anymore. If you get something out, you only get it out if you plan to play with it. And if you are not going to play with it, then you put it back before you get something else out, because I'm not playing Molly Maids like all day for you. So that's what we're not going to do. He's gotten better as he's gotten older, and I don't really have to ask as much, but I did go through a phase where I had to ask about everything. And I was like, something's not clicking. Like, why is this just not a normal common sense thing that to do? But kids, I swear, I think that they try to get away with as much as you allow them to get away with. And until you enforce something, then they're not going to do it.
Lincoln's the worst. I'm probably have talked about this before on here, but before laundry gets done, he has to go through his entire hamper and put everything right side out. And I keep trying to tell him, if you put it right side out as soon as you take it off, you don't have to do them before you go to your dad's every week, or you don't have to do them, during the week. You just do it when you take them off. Like, shit like that. I'm like, what you do now is going to be carried with you for the rest of your life. I don't want you to have to worry, like, be frustrated as a college student, or, when you're an adult and you're trying to do laundry and you're washing your shit inside out. I just can't. And I think with boys, it's just harder in general. Like, it doesn't click. Like, he even texted me last week before he went to his dad's and was like, do I have to do my clothes? And I said, absolutely you do. And he said, but I don't need clothes here when I'm at my dad's. I said, but you need clean clothes when you come home, and I'm not doing this anymore. You're 9. You're fully capable of putting your clothes right side out.
Okay. Other moms are going to relate to this when I say this. How many of your kids because again, it's only Jackson and I in here. So I have 2 laundry baskets, like darks and then coloreds. Jackson will bring his clothes and act like he's done something when he brings a pair of pants or shorts with his skid mark underwear, like, still attached into the thing. And I'm like, that's not my job. Like, I didn't sign up to pull apart your underwear from your pants or shorts for the rest of my life. Like, that's not, when I decided to become a mother, that was not what I signed up for.
That wasn't in the job description.
No.
I'm dead. That's like one of my girlfriends years ago, we were talking about, she was on the fence about having more kids, and her final decision about not having more kids was, I do not want to wipe asses and brush teeth for another 6 years.
Oh my God.
Because her son was 6 at the time. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I completely understand.
Wait, last thing on the laundry, and then we got to move on. I do wash underwear inside out.
I mean, that makes sense, I guess, right? Because you want the outside, you want the inside parts to be the most clean. So you put them out. That makes sense.
Yeah, I do that.
So this year we've got goals, factors here to help you achieve each and every one of them. I have been trying to tackle my diet for some time now. So you guys can skip the grocery store, skip the chopping, the prepping, the cleaning up, because Factor's fresh and never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy. This is something that has really cut down my time on meal planning and meal prepping during the day, especially while I'm working from home or working at my office. Either one, I don't have to like run out and grab food. I don't have to spend extra money. This really helps, with my crazy lifestyle. I just never know what my day is going to be like.
I absolutely love having Factor in my fridge because if I don't eat it for lunch, I know I have it there for dinner. And it's just the end of the day. If I'm home by myself, it's so nice to just be able to grab one of the meals and not have to think about anything. No matter what your lifestyle is, Factor has meals to help you live it to the fullest with keto, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and protein plus meals on the menu every week, prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians, which is super important. Each meal has all of the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long. They have 34 chef prepared, dietitian approved weekly options, and there's always going to be something new for you to be able to try. And if you're looking to cut back on takeout, which we know that was something that I wanted to do this year, you can get Factor instead. Not only is Factor cheaper than takeout, but meals are ready quicker than restaurant delivery in just 2 minutes. Get Factor and enjoy clean eating without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. There really is no easier way to eat. You guys can just head to factor75.com/coffeecombo60 and use code coffeecombo60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code coffeecombos60 at factor75.com/coffeecombo60 to get 60% off your first box. Wait, can we do TikTok o'clock?
Absolutely, we can.
Go.
TikTok o'clock. Okay, TikTok o'clock today. This TikTok that I found, I'm going to give an overall description. If a woman decides to keep a baby with all the contraceptives out there, then a man should have the right to forfeit all financial obligations. This sent me. I was so pissed off when I even commented, because yes, there are contraceptives for women, but men have the ability to put a condom on. Men have the ability to pull out. Men have the ability to refrain from sex. And it is just as much a man's responsibility when he's choosing to have sex with somebody, knowing the consequences and knowing that contraceptives can fail. So when you are laying down with a woman, if she decides to keep a baby, you both know the risks. You both know that there are contraceptives out there, and a man is just as responsible. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're that worried about contraceptives and, maybe that failing or anything like that, wear a condom and pull out. Do both.
Yeah, well, I 100% agree with you on all fronts of this. And I imagine that this probably happens way more than we would think. You co-signed this decision when you decided to have sex with someone and not protect yourself from getting in that situation. So if you don't want that situation to happen, then simply protect yourself from being required to financially support a child that you claim that you didn't want.
It infuriated me when I saw, and I want to read some of the comments on that video, because I cannot be the only one that felt infuriated. There's just no way. And then
simple as this: if you don't want an obligation, don't give yourself one.
Well, and that's my biggest thing is why are you even taking the risk if you feel like a woman should be solely, why are you putting that in a woman's hands? If you don't trust them enough to, I don't know, if you can't trust yourself enough, I guess, to take care of a child, why are you putting that decision on a woman? And I just felt like it was very misogynistic also. That was the other part of it that really pissed me off. I was just the audacity for men to have this conversation in public and really say these thoughts out loud really infuriated me. I want to read some of the comments, because there was one that was this is so misogynistic. Just oh, if we send child support, we don't have to pay for our kids. What? Have you heard that?
What?
Okay. This is what I commented, and this was like 2 weeks ago. I said, a man can simply choose not to have sex, wear protection, and or pull out. This is a no for me. Someone says, I wish it was that simple because I've seen cases where the guy verbally said he wanted the baby, and once it came, he left. Someone else says, I feel this doesn't take in the single moms who do raise the kids alone with no financial support. I want to know the woman who is thinking like this when she is deciding about a child that she did not get pregnant with herself. What does that mean?
I guess because she didn't impregnate herself, somebody else did. So it wasn't just a one-sided thing.
I'm shocked, but 3 women in these comments said that they completely agree, which I think is complete bullshit.
Because their perspective on that is going to be they knew what they were signing up for when they laid down with the person. So don't get mad if you get pregnant when it was almost a choice. I'm sure that's going to be that argument. At the same time, it takes 2 people to tango. So that doesn't fly for me.
Someone says, I agree, but also the dude can just as easily wrap his little package up too, which is exactly how I feel. Like, I just don't understand how this is solely contract is the birth certificate. Don't sign it. No legal custody. That's actually not how it works, I don't think. So I think you can still be obligated to pay child support even if you're not on the birth certificate. They just have to prove paternity.
Yeah, they just have to prove paternity. That's it.
So yeah. And then the other TikTok I had on here was one that Kristen sent me. And she just sent it to me like randomly. And I put it on here because I was like, what the actual fuck? It was a TikTok about there are actually some states that you are legally obligated to take care of your elderly parents.
You're going to hate what I'm about to say, but your parents took care of you. I think that it should be by circumstance. So if your parents raised you, then in my opinion, you have an obligation to your parents to take care of them.
Really? See, but I don't think, maybe I just don't think that way because I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to be born. And further, I asked my mom why she didn't get an abortion because she had no business having me. And so for me, it's like, whether you were raised really well or not, I don't think that we asked to be here. So why should we be obligated to? And what happens if my mom is, say my mom raised me, right? Like say my mom was the picture perfect mom, white picket fence, whatever the case may be. What if she lived across the country? I'm not going to uproot my life to go take care of her. She made that choice.
Well, no, I think again, like what are the circumstances that surround this? Because, my requirement would be if I'm going to take care of you, then you're going to have to like move in with me. I'm not going to uproot my life to do that, but I will take care of you. I also have a super soft spot for the elderly. And so seeing like my parents old, I'm sure that's going to break my heart whenever they do get old, but my parents are young as fuck right now. I mean, like 50 and 54. So they're still pretty young and kicking it and like fine, but I would totally take care of them or take care of my grandmother if they needed the help. I absolutely would do that.
I mean, I think this also varies by situation
so
too.
I can wipe theirs.
Like if my grandparents were still with me and they needed caretaking, I would hands down without a fucking doubt be there for every fucking bell ring. Like if I would have done anything for my grandparents. If they ring the bell, I'd fucking be there. You know what I mean? Like there are people in my family who I absolutely would, but that would be more so out of love and out of my choice. I think it more so pisses me off because it feels like in these states, it's an obligation. I know that there are people who have children to specifically take care of them when they're old. I don't expect my kids to take care of me when I'm old. In fact, I hope that I don't ever become a burden to them in any way, shape, or form where they even have to consider whether or not they should move me in with them or something. I hope that I am long gone before, I hope the universe takes me and just, sends me to the ocean and, my kids don't have to worry about that. I don't ever want them to feel like, well, she wiped my ass, so I have to wipe hers. Like I would be actually mortified if my kids saw my butt.
Well, my dad has that same mentality of everything, like pretty much verbatim what you just said, adding the fact that he doesn't talk about the universe. He's like, I hope God calls me home, but same
concept.
thought process. I think that's good and great in theory until you become an old person and you realize that like you're not ready to like pass away. And as you get older, I think your mindset probably will change. You're saying that now because nobody needs to take care of you because you're not like in a place of need. But I think that probably does change over time. But then there are probably some people that are like you.
So Isaac is my oldest, and I know that people love him and think he's the sweetest thing ever, and he really is. Like, he does have a heart of gold. However, Isaac does not like gross things. Like, he's very type A when it comes to, he does not want to see drool. He doesn't want to see poop. He doesn't want to, nothing. If there's sticky hands, dirt on your face, like if Creed has like a booger or like snot and I didn't wipe it yet, like Isaac does not like babies. He's not a baby person. He doesn't like anything gross. He doesn't like his foods to touch. He doesn't like spit or drool. He would not be capable of taking care of me as an elderly woman. That's number one. So he would unintentionally probably neglect me. Okay. Like, that's number one. Lincoln.
Isaac's out. So we have established Isaac is out. I only have one option. So
Right.
like
my kids will be taking care of both of us. We'll be in the freaking old folks home together, like trying to do coffee combos. And they're going to be like, shut the hell up. Lincoln would probably unintentionally forget about me. Lux, I think he's my rider. I think he would 1000% take care of me, but I just don't want him to. And then Creed, I haven't figured out yet as in terms of whether he like, some days he loves the shit out of me and some days he could not care less.
Oh my God. Wait, I need to do a little follow-up. I don't know if you remember this, but we talked about it last year. It was the Alec Baldwin situation with the gun going off on set. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So he has been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter and the death of Helena Hutchins on the film Santa Fe country set in 2021. And that was according to the DA. I remember we were talking about that and if we thought that they were going to be charged or if it was going to be accidental or whatever. And he has been charged.
I kind of have mixed feelings on it.
Me too. On one hand, someone lost their life. Mm-hmm. And then on the other hand, it was legitimately an accident.
It was a freak accident. And I know that people have been like, I know of cases where people get charged with involuntary manslaughter for things like DUI, drinking under or driving under the influence and things like that. So this one was a literal freak accident. It wasn't like, well, but then it was loaded. The gun was loaded. So then it's like on that end, it is negligence. Like somebody was responsible for loading it. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. That's really sad. I wonder why it took 2 years to get a verdict, to get convicted.
Well, he's just been charged.
Oh, he's been charged. Okay. He hasn't been convicted. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting.
I will be interested to see how all the details of that actually do play out and why he was charged with that, because there has to be a legitimate reason coming down from the DA. Like there's a legitimate reason as to why they charged him with that.
Sure.
I want to do this from the Facebook group and want to know your thoughts on it. Says thoughts on current partner of 6 years keeping pictures of ex-wife on Facebook. The pictures are of them kissing, laying in bed, on the beach, etc. They are at least 8-year-old pictures, so they aren't super new, but there's a good amount of them. I have mentioned something about them before and he blew it off like he didn't pay attention to them, so I just let it go. They have a child together and the pics were before this, and they divorced shortly after the baby was born. But we have to see this person often, and I just think it's weird. I also want to add that he often checks his memories and is aware of them being there. I recently brought it up and asked if he'd ever considered just untagging himself, as they are mostly ones she posted. He blew up and called me crazy and said it will take too much time to do. It was hurtful and I feel crazy. I just want to think he's right, but I have always had a feeling he still had a thing for her and I'm so conflicted. Any advice is welcome. Thank you in advance.
Well, again, I'm conflicted in my feelings on this because I mean, I've been in a few relationships after my divorce, and I haven't deleted my wedding album or any of the pictures. Like, you know how if you go to like your profile pictures album, it's like all the profile pictures you've ever had?
Yep.
I have ones of me and Javi in there. I know that he's removed the matching tattoo that we had. I know that he's removed pictures. I know that he, and it doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't care. Obviously I was hurt at the time, because I still felt like, okay, yeah, we're not together anymore, but we still had that. But now I'm in a place where it's just like, I don't care. It's like out of sight, out of mind, but also I'm not going to go out of my way to delete them.
So in this particular situation, I feel like what makes this situation a little sticky is that she's always had an inkling that he still had feelings for her. So
then why did you marry him?
I think if there wasn't that portion of it, I think it doesn't matter. But because she has that feeling, then, you know, that's an issue. If you have that feeling though, then I feel like if you have that much foresight going into the situation, then that should have been things that you addressed ahead of marrying this person or being, you know, continuing the relationship, whatever it is. She said current partner. So I don't know.
6 years. Okay. But so that for me, right off the bat, like that is the reason why I won't date someone with kids, is because they're going to go back to their baby mom in some way, shape or form. And I'm not going to fucking like it. And I'm not going to live with that. So that applying that same thought process to this is, if you're with somebody for 6 years and you feel like he still has a thing for his ex, you need to get the fuck out, because your gut feeling is never wrong. It is never wrong.
Also, just want to say, if you've addressed this with him and it wasn't a big deal to him, but it was a big deal to you, if he didn't have underlying feelings there, he would have just removed all of the stuff, knowing that it was causing conflict between you and him. So
100%.
There's a reason that he's leaving that stuff there and coming up with excuses as to why he doesn't want to delete them. Chances are he probably does still have feelings for his ex, whether she was ex-wife, baby mama, I forget, whatever it said, but there's definitely a reason that he's holding on to those memories. So I would just be very cautious proceeding forward.
And furthermore, just checking the memories and things like that. When I first met Elijah, the only real fight we ever got into was because we had established our relationship in the beginning and his ex-wife called. And I was literally like, why does she even still have access to call? I mean, it was through Facebook Messenger, so like options were removed. But when I was like, how does she even still have access? Like in my head, because I'm so hyper aware of things like that, I was like, why does she still have access to you? I didn't even have to tell her. I didn't even have to tell him to block her. And he did it without, just because I was like, the fact that she still has access is, for me, was a red flag. And so, you know, they don't have kids together. So, you know, I didn't even have to say you need to block her. He already did it. So if that is something basically, this woman who wrote into our Facebook, this will be the last thing I say, is you have to decide if that's a deal breaker for you or not. We've gone over this 101 times. There's a difference between red flags and deal breakers, or flaws and red flags. And you need to decide if this is going to, because if you're going to harp on it and he's not changing, you either have to stay quiet, or you need to get out of the relationship. You can't decide that, you know, you're going to keep bringing it up for the rest of your relationship, especially if you're six years in. But we can move on.
From my personal experience, I'm going to say she needs to move on. There is a reason that he is not deleting it. There's a reason that she feels like he still has feelings for his baby mama. There's a reason for all of that. There's also a reason that she wrote into this podcast, because it bothers her that much. So
totally,
we stand with you, girlfriend.
We do.
Okay, let's do foul play.
Foul play. Hey ladies, I have a PSA that I was unaware of, so I need to pass it on so others don't make this mistake. I was sitting on the throne taking a pee when out of nowhere I sneezed. It immediately burned and was so painful to finish said pee. Surprisingly, this has never happened to me before, even though I have insane allergies and sneeze all the time. So every time I peed after that, it was unbearable burning pain, and the pain would go up to my stomach until a few minutes after leaving the restroom. I thought it would go away after a few days, but by day 5, I was really starting to panic that I tore my urethra. I had an appointment with my OB. Yeah, that's wild. I had an appointment with my OB already scheduled, so I mentioned it to him and he was not concerned. Thank the good Lord, it started to subside by day 8. I was finally peeing normally again. So if you can help it, do not sneeze while peeing. The force it sends out the urethra is no joke. I do not recommend. Love the podcast love the podcast. It's the one I make sure to listen to every week. Oh my God, that's awful.
First off, thank you for listening every week to our bullshit, because like that means a lot. Anybody that can really do that, you're a trooper. Secondly, and look at me when I tell you this, if I started peeing, I don't care if there was like a sneeze associated, but I started peeing and it was burning, immediately I would become WebMD for myself. And I would come up with like the most awful things that it could possibly be, like
outrageous
STDs,
diagnosis.
STI, cancer, you name it. Like I would come up with it and would not sleep until I actually got to go to the doctor to find out what was going on, because I don't want to call myself a hypochondriac, but like a hypochondriac.
Oh, 100%. If that happened to me, I would be like, oh my God, did I blow out my urethra? Like did my urethra detach from my bladder? Like what is going on here? That sounds awful.
Who sneezes that hard? Like if you are sneezing so hard that you blew out your urethra, I don't even know how to say that word, but like whatever, that's some power, honey.
That is some power. You were really feeling them allergies that day.
I'm not okay. Okay. Next foul play. My husband and I are both military, so I went home with him to meet his family for the first time while we were dating. We went out one night with one of his closest friends and were bar hopping. My husband went to grab another drink and I was sitting at a table with his friend. The friend was asking me questions, trying to get to know me, and asked, "Do you like to be hit during sex?" Oh, very casual. Weird, right? And as he is asking, my husband sits down waiting for an answer. I tell him that I like it rough and hitting can be fun. Fast forward to the next day, we have stayed the whole trip with his very Catholic mom and not allowed to sleep in the same room because they don't want us having sex. So we do what any normal couple would do and hook up in the bathroom when she is left for work. Very normal.
That's exactly what everyone else would do. Definitely that.
I am bent over the sink when all of a sudden my ear is ringing. This man tried to hit me sexually from behind and cupped hand and slapped me in the ear. It was so painful, unexpected, and my ear was ringing for hours. I asked him why he did that, and he told me it was because I said I liked it. We have worked on things and they're better now. That was 5 years ago, and it is hilarious looking back. We got married a year later. First off, motherfucker tries to hit me in the ear and makes my ear ring for multiple hours. Like, never again.
No, but it's we've worked things out. Like that must have caused some serious trauma in the relationship, because she said we've worked things out. I'm fucking dead.
Okay, but do we think like that it's weird that one of your man's closest friends would be asking you questions about like—
Immediately, yes. Immediately I was like, that's not okay.
But it's like a very targeted question. It's not like casual, right? It's like, do you like being hit during sex? Like, this is my thoughts. His friend had a conversation with him and was like, hey, can you ask her, does she like to be hit during sex? Like, that's just so weird. Like, who does that?
If you're an adult and you have to send your friends to ask your future wife sexual questions like that, should you really be getting married? Because I don't want to be with anyone that I can't just be open with about my sexual preferences and kinks and things like that.
First of all, you shouldn't even be having sex if you can't ask questions like that. So
right.
That's number one. Number two, I just want to say Will's parents aren't Catholic and neither are mine. But with that being said, I definitely relate to not sleeping together during trips.
Physically, we went on this, or like having sex?
No. Like we weren't allowed to sleep together. We went on a beach trip when we were in college and I was with Will's parents, and my dad specifically called Will's parents and was like, I just need to make sure like Lindsay's sleeping in her own room.
Okay.
And Will's parents were like, yeah, like we're going to be sure of that. Like all these things, like Will's mom exactly on the same page, whatever. So Will makes his little bed on the couch. And then when his parents go to bed, he like creeps into my bedroom and he sleeps with me. And then in the morning, he acts like he was sleeping at the end of my bed, like the opposite way, because he heard his parents coming. And he's like, oh, I'm just going to like act like I'm sleeping this way. And it's like, first of all, everybody knows we're fucking. So like, why is this a secret?
They don't want to believe it. They knew, but they didn't want to believe it.
On that trip, we had sex in that room. We had sex in the pool, and sex in that room. Yeah. So
y'all were getting it in whether they liked it or not.
We absolutely, honey, we absolutely were. We were fucking like rabbits back in those days.
Can't keep your hands off each other kind of thing.
Before we go, I saw this thing that it said things to remember. Tomorrow is a new day. Making mistakes is part of life. Saying no is okay. Not everyone has to like you. Beauty and strength come from within. And on that note, kitties, I am going to go and try to get my office together, and I have a meeting. If you guys have not followed us on @Coffee Convos Podcast on Instagram, make sure you follow us there. If you have not subscribed to the Kitty Gang Telegram app, there's some stuff that's been dropped in there in the last week. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you can find the link for that in our bio on our Instagram page. Also, if you have not subscribed to the show, you can do that from any podcast app, and always first at Podcast One. We hope y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.